Hello and welcome. You're watching The Last Word. I'm Vedant Agarwal. Our special focus on the show this evening. The last few weeks have completely washed away the claims of world-class infrastructure in some of our richest cities. What happened in Delhi that fateful night about a week ago continues to haunt hundreds of students at India's biggest coaching hub and indeed across the country. The High Court today strongly reprimanded the Delhi police and the municipal corporation, hinting at criminal negligence on the part of senior MCD officers and the Delhi police as well. Meanwhile, over 20 kilometers away from Mumbai, another heavily cash-rich municipality, yet another incident of a billboard coming crashing down on a busy road, a grim reminder of the Mumbai hoarding collapse. In all these deadly incidents across India's metro cities, there seems to be a similar pattern. Killer apathy, complicity on the part of authorities, and a criminal nexus between authorities and those profiting from the lethal infrastructure. For India's richest civic bodies, does life come so cheap? Well, on the show this evening, we put the focus on how Delhi and Maharashtra municipalities function. First, the Mumbai hoarding collapse. What is the fix for our urban mess? And then, on the other half of the show, we will be discussing the Delhi horror and the Delhi High Court's strong words against the civic body and the police. Joining me on the show this evening, I'm being joined by a very special panel on the Maharashtra mess. Jagdish Magmen, former chairperson of the MCD, is with us. But before that, let me go across to our Maharashtra guest joining us first, China NC spokesperson of the BJP, Sanjay Gupta, leader of the Shiv Sena UBT, and also a former MCD officer. Dr. Sudhir Krishna, former Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India, is also with us. Thanks all very much for being with us. Going across to you first, China NC, what we saw today in Thane, over 20 kilometers away from Mumbai, another grim reminder of what happened in Mumbai, the hoarding collapse that killed multiple people. There seems to be a similar pattern. In fact, the SIT report in the Mumbai case points to some sort of a nexus of negligence between the authorities and those profiting from this lethal infrastructure.
Vedant, at the outset, let me please say that we must value human life, and that is a non-negotiable. Whether it is a massive hoarding which collapses on a busy road, or the incessant rains, or the fact that we've had multiple cases in the past too, it shows us not just the poor infrastructure, but some kind of a collusion between those who choose to put up the illegal hoardings and the civic authorities. So if there is some kind of corruption when it comes to these cases, whether it's Mumbai, Thane, or anywhere else, or anywhere in the country, I think that we need to unequivocally as a society speak up, and that will be the first step. If I'm going to sit here and cast aspersions on others, I think that won't work. Heads must roll. Civic authorities have to own up to this kind of permission giving. Who has put it up? Why have they been put up? And why is there this kind of urban mess? At the outset, let me also say, whether it is political hoardings too, or it is commercial hoardings, that does not matter. Nobody needs to be absolved of these wrongdoings, especially at a time when we have seen so many people lose life. Have we forgotten about the Ghatkopar hoarding collapse?
Yes.
No. So I think that the authorities, the civic authorities, have vouched to take action against the contractor, but to have repeated these kind of incidents, there needs to be blacklisting, there needs to be absolute cognizance.
Yes.
And that is something that our government, I think Devendra Fadnavis as the Deputy Chief Minister and Eknath Shinde as Chief Minister have talked about at multiple occasions.
Yes,
and I'm
that's
sure
an
this
important point there, Shaila, but let me quickly cite the SIT report quickly, because the SIT report says that the illegalities were ignored by the BMC and the billboard company. Also that there was no soil test done by the contractors measures despite multiple red flags that the mud on which those hoardings were put, I'm talking about the Mumbai case, that was soft and unfit to sort of provide a strong foundation for these hoardings. So why is it that, there are always these measures of blacklisting, as you mentioned, or a magisterial probe that's ordered after such incidents? Why no preemptive measures? Why are cash-rich municipalities like that in Mumbai so negligent?
So I think it's 2-3 things. Obviously, the administration needs to own up, which I'm sure that it will. We have been talking time and again that you've had in the past, when BJP chose to stay out of power and you had a certain political party that has been in the BMC for the longest time, there has been a lot of corruption which has been unearthed and brought into the public domain. I'm not here sitting on passing the buck, but I think that if there are systems in place which are adhered to, no kind of loose lacunas, then we as a society will be accountable. And that accountability is of the political class, the administration, and the service provider, or in this case, the beneficiary, who are the people who were put up these illegal hoardings.
Okay.
So if they are not brought to task, the contractor.
Let me get Sanjay Gupta of the Shiv Sena to respond to this, because Sanjay Gupta, जो शाइना एनसी कह रही हैं कि आपकी सरकार काफी टाइम तक रही है बीएमसी में, और कहीं ना कहीं चाहे वो बीएमसी हो या एमसीडी, एक कल्चर है जो ये कहीं ना कहीं प्रॉफिट अर्नर्स या जो प्रॉफिट कर रहे हैं इस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर से और अथॉरिटीज़ के बीच में हो गया। बिना ब्राइब लिए कोई काम नहीं होता, बिना करप्शन के ये होर्डिंग्स, चाहे वो मुंबई की बात हम कर लें, बिना करप्शन के वो होर्डिंग्स कैसे लगी होंगी एक ऐसे लैंड पे विच इज़ अनफिट। तो ये कल्चर जो है ये हर पार्टी ने परपेचुएट किया है।
देखिए, बड़ी हैरानी होती है कई बार कुछ चीज़ों को देखकर। मैं आपको इस विषय में ये बताना चाहूँगा कि क्योंकि मैं म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन में रहा हूँ और एडवर्टीजमेंट इंस्पेक्टर ही रहा हूँ कई सालों तक, हमारे एक बहुत ही ब्रिलियंट ऑफिसर थे जिन्होंने आउटडोर एडवर्टीजमेंट पॉलिसी सन 2007 में ना सिर्फ नगर निगम के हाउस से पास कराई बल्कि उसको सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया से भी पास कराया। कई देशों में घूमने के बाद उन्होंने इस पॉलिसी को बनाया। इस पॉलिसी को अगर सही तरीके से इंप्लीमेंट कर दिया जाता तो आज हमारे देश में जितने भी शहर और गाँव हैं उनका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वर्ल्ड क्लास बन जाता। आउटडोर एडवर्टीजमेंट का पॉलिसी का मतलब सिर्फ एडवर्टीजमेंट करना ही नहीं है, बल्कि एक शहर को साफ सुथरा और सुंदर किस तरह से बनाया जाए ये भी है। लेकिन जिस ऑफिसर ने पॉलिसी बनाई उनको जमीनी स्तर पर काम करना नहीं आता था और पॉलिटिकल विंग ने उनका वो साथ नहीं दिया जो दिया जाना चाहिए था। इस पॉलिसी को किस तरह से इंप्लीमेंट किया जाए, उसमें किस तरह के जो मौजूदा नियम कायदे कानून है उनमें संशोधन किया जाए और किस तरह से इसको इंप्लीमेंट किया जाए, इसका मैं मास्टर हूं। तो हमारी सरकार में अब अगर साइना एनसीजी बात करें कि बीएमसी में हम सरकार में रहे, तो मैंने तो शिवसेना को 2019 में ज्वाइन किया था। उस वक्त बीजेपी और शिवसेना हमारी एक ही बात होती थी। मैं नहीं जानता था कि हमारी महाभारत 2019 के इलेक्शन के बाद बीजेपी के साथ इस तरह से चलेगी। और उसके बाद जब हमारी सरकार बनी तो उसके बाद कोरोना रहा 2 साल, और 2 साल के बाद जब कोरोना खत्म हुआ तो उद्धव जी मार रहे, फिर उसके बाद शिंदे जी की सरकार आ गई। तो मैं तो ये सब उलटफेर देख करके बड़ा हैरान हुआ। तो हमारे देश में
तो टेंडर्स में करप्शन तो हर सरकार करती है और ये एक जानी मानी बात है। खासकर अगर मुंबई की हम बात करें, कोई टेंडर बिना करप्शन के अप्रूव नहीं होता है। और जब ये मुंबई होर्डिंग वाला केस भी हुआ था तो बहुत सारी रिपोर्ट सामने आई थी जिन्होंने ये बोला था कि उस टेंडर को देने में भी करप्शन हुआ है।
देखिए, हमारे बहुत से नियम कायदे कानूनों में इस तरह के संशोधनों की जरूरत है जिससे कि इस तरह की करप्शन ना हो सके। आपको जानकर बड़ी हैरानी होगी कि हमारे देश के अंदर 2500 से ज्यादा म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस हैं और इन कॉर्पोरेशंस के काम को कोई भी चैनल नहीं देखता, कोई भी बड़ी पॉलिटिकल पार्टियां नहीं देखती। और जो हमारे देश में इलेक्शन चुन करके मेयर भी बनते हैं, आप मुंबई को ले लो चाहे आप दिल्ली को ले लो, दिल्ली के अंदर भी मेयर इन काउंसिल नहीं है और मुंबई में भी मेयर इन काउंसिल नहीं है, जिससे कि मेयर को ये पावर हो कि वो कमिश्नर को हटा सके। और कमिश्नर्स और अधिकारी ही नगर निगम को चलाते हैं, चाहे वो दिल्ली हो चाहे मुंबई हो। जब दिल्ली और मुंबई में ये हाल है तो आप सोचोगे देश के अंदर जो 2500 और म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन हैं जहां पर हम पहुंच ही नहीं पाते, जिसका मेन काम शहर को साफ सुथरा और सुंदर बनाना है, तो वो कमिश्नर्स और अधिकारी क्या हाल करते होंगे।
Okay, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, come in on this as somebody who has been part of the Urban Development Ministry. Why is there this kind of negligence, this kind of criminal negligence? Because whether it's the case in Delhi or Mumbai, the fact that the MCD and the BMC did not take cognizance of this kind of lethal infrastructure operating with some sort of impunity raises serious alarm.
Well, I think I would see that there are two major reasons for urban governance, facing these challenges or these situations. One is that there is a lack of clarity on the role of municipal corporation, municipal bodies. And Delhi, if you see, there is Municipal Corporation of Delhi is not the only manager of Delhi city. It's Delhi government, and even Government of India manages some part of the administration, and there are other state agencies are there, and so on. So really, who is the leader, who is the head or father of governance in a city? We are not clear, number one. And number two, you see, at the governance level also, the value systems are to be strengthened. Now, today the value system gradually, it is not one day's affair, over time, you see, allow unauthorized or illegal to regularize the things.
Yes.
Culture is not to enforce the rule and not to enforce the plan, but to regularize what is wrong, what has been done wrongly. So there is a kind of culture building up that violate the rules and seek regularization. Whether it is adding floor to the building, or whether it is closing the balconies, or whether putting up a structure here or there, or whether it is encroaching government land or properties, etc. The general tradition is violate the law and it will be regularized one day or the other. And in Delhi, actually, if you recall, we have reached the stage where Parliament has made a law. When the matter went to the courts, that this master plan doesn't permit unauthorized developments in low-lying area, whatever areas which were supposed to be not open for development, then the Parliament made the law that this will be permitted. So the general people are getting to this kind of feeling, and we are paying the price for it. After all, plans are for the people's benefit only, or for orderly developments. Plans are subject to change as per procedure, but now no procedure, nothing. You do your whatever you want to do, and pursue that. And last point I will say that the governance system, at the cutting edge level, the bureaucracy is very frugal. You don't have enough staff at the cutting edge level. So there not much inspection is possible also. First of all, whatever is possible is not being done is one matter. But actually it is not possible. So people are doing touch and go kind of work at the cutting edge level.
So you made an important point that value system needs to be strengthened at the municipality level, at the bureaucracy level, which is why perhaps we see that BMC has this very bad tag of being one of the most corrupt municipalities in the country, despite being the richest. And China NC, very quickly, the fact that our poll manifestos, if you look at the BJP's poll manifesto in Maharashtra, or the campaigns and political speeches across the year, the focus very much is on big projects. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, now I can.
Yeah, so I'm saying the focus very much on poll manifestos and campaigns is on big projects, whether it's a coastal corridor, big road projects, multi-lane highways. But the fact is that we need to return to these fundamentals, basic structural problems that may not look as attractive on a poll manifesto. So do you think that our political parties have also done a disservice to the people, with this sort of, focusing on the bigger things more and not on the fundamental infrastructure of the city?
So Vedant, I'm a hardcore Mumbaikar, and I say it as it is. If you look at the kind of infrastructure Mumbai has got recently, whether it's the coastal road, the metro, the Nhava Sheva lane, the Atal Setu, the expressways, etc., I mean, incredible the speed at which we have got this kind of infrastructure into place to ease the lives of the Mumbaikar. Having said that, does that need to be equated with this kind of an issue? I think the civic authorities must take cognizance of taking action against any errant contractor. How is the tender process passed? Has a soil test been done before putting up or erecting any of these hoardings? Are there political parties that are choosing to insulate wrongdoers or repeat offenders? We cannot just keep thinking it's strong wind or, to say that, oh, it's the monsoon and that's why this has happened. I think we have to move way beyond all these lame excuses, because in a life lost in a city is valuable for anybody, everybody, and head should roll. So that's why I said the accountability process is very, very important. And especially when you have a proactive chief minister and a deputy chief minister, the civic authorities must get to the bottom of it. If it is a case of corruption, How were the permissions given? If it was a case of tender, what was the process of tendering? And if it is a case of poor infrastructure, heads need to roll.
In fact, as we speak, a case has also been registered under sections 125A and 324A, which essentially means the act endangering life or personal safety of others and also causing damage. So, that's an important point there again, and the complaint was filed by a ward officer, interestingly. But Dr. Sudhir Krishna, before we wind up the discussion, quickly to you, something that Shina NC also mentioned, कि ये BMC की और म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस की एक ये इमेज भी है कि रॉन्ग डूअर्स को प्रोटेक्ट किया जाता है, और कई लोगों का ये कहना होगा कि ये चाहे वो शिवसेना हो या बीजेपी हो, रॉन्ग डूअर्स को प्रोटेक्ट करने की जो एक रेपुटेशन बन गई म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस की, इसको कैसे सुधारा जाए?
ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि सीनियर ऑफिसर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लें,
राइट,
और सीनियर ऑफिसर शुड फील जैसे कमिश्नर हैं या अपने एरिया में, दे शुड टेक प्राइड.
Dr. Sudhir Krishna, I'm afraid it's my mistake. I'll come back to you on that. This question was meant for Sanjay Gupta ji. Sanjay Gupta, go ahead. I'll come back to you, Dr. Sudhir Krishna. जी बताइए.
देखिए, साइना एनसी जी ने जो बात कही, वो किसी काम को अच्छे तरीके से करने की इच्छा रखना एक अलग बात है, मगर उस काम को अच्छे तरीके से करने की नॉलेज होना ये एक अलग बात है. हमारे देश के अंदर म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस में और चाहे जो अधिकारी हो, चाहे वो चुने हुए प्रतिनिधि हो, वो आते जरूर हैं, मगर उनको काम करने का वो एक्सपीरियंस नहीं होता. वो नहीं जानते कि मौजूदा नियम कायदे कानूनों में किस तरह के संशोधनों की जरूरत है और किस तरह से किसी भी काम को इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाना चाहिए. इसकी कमी होने के कारण ही हमारे देश के अंदर, हमारे शहरों के अंदर उतनी साफ सफाई नहीं जितनी साफ सफाई होनी चाहिए जी. तो वो नियम कायदे कानूनों में किस तरह के संशोधन हो, वो काम, उसका मैं एक्सपर्ट हूं. और कभी इस तरह की पॉलिसी आज ये सरकार में है, हम नहीं है. अगर हम होते तो उस वक्त हम करते. अगर ये हमसे इस तरह की पॉलिसी मांगेंगी, अगर मुझसे कहेंगी, तो मैं बताऊंगा कि वो कौन सी पॉलिसी है जो सन 2007 में ना सिर्फ दिल्ली नगर निगम के हाउस से पास हुई, बल्कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया ने भी पास किया. अगर उस पॉलिसी को सही तरीके से इंप्लीमेंट कर दिया जाए तो हमारे देश के शहरों और गांव का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अमेरिका, ब्रिटेन और फ्रांस के शहरों से ही बेहतर बन सकता है. और हमें, और मैं आपकी एक चीज में कहना चाहता हूँ, आपके विषय में कहना चाहता हूँ कि मेरे को आपकी ये डिबेट बहुत अच्छी लगी कि जिसमें एक दूसरे को नीचा दिखाने की बजाय देश के डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर बात की जा रही है. वरना मैं देखता हूं कि देश का आज कोई भी प्लेटफॉर्म क्यों ना हो, चाहे वो लोकसभा हो, राज्यसभा हो, विधानसभा हो, चाहे चैनल्स की डिबेट्स हो, एक दूसरे को नीचा दिखाने का काम ही करते हैं. मगर इस तरह की सकारात्मक डिबेट्स जिस तरह की आपने शुरू किया, मैं इसको अप्रिशिएट करता हूं, और मैं आपसे निवेदन करूंगा कि आप इस तरह की डिबेट्स को और करें ताकि हमारे देश के शहरों और गांव का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर
similar sort of camaraderie and conciliatory approach on policy level as well. Thanks very much, Shina NC and Sanjay Gupta, for being with us. Dr. Sudhir Krishna stays on with us as we now put the focus on the Delhi coaching center horror, where the Delhi High Court came down heavily on the Delhi police and the civic body as well, saying that there's criminal negligence. In fact, the High Court also said significantly that corruption on the part of public servants may also be suspected, which is why now the case has been transferred to the CBI as well. In fact, the High Court said that the Delhi municipality has no respect for the law and that all our orders are falling on deaf ears. Joining me for that, Jagdish McMahon, former chairman of the MCD, Ritik Saw, UPSC aspirant, is also with us, and Dr. Sudhir Krishna continues to be with us. Going across to you first, Ritik Saw, the case has now been transferred to the CBI. The students and UPSC aspirants have been protesting relentlessly, undeterred. Does this satisfy you in a sense that now the investigation at least is in safe hands?
Yeah, actually, the thing is that since the case has now been transferred to the CBI, we would be believing that CBI, the senior officials, the senior officers would be definitely, investigating in the justice way. They would be giving the justice to the students, because as of now, Delhi police has not been coordinating with us. Delhi police has been, arresting the innocent. So we this is a good decision by the Delhi High Court that the case has been transferred to the CBI. And yes, our fingers are crossed that, our demands would get, fulfilled, and whatever the things that has happened will come to the, in a very transparent way to the students as well, to the, to the UPSC aspirants, and we would be in the safe hands. So, yes.
Okay. So some hope there, because of course those families who are grieving the loss of young lives, tragically cut short, there can be no justice to them, but at least the investigation is now in safe hands, is what Ritik Saw is saying. Jagdish Mamgen, come in on this point, because MCD ki jahan tak baat kare, one of the richest municipalities in the country, and the kind of apathy and criminal negligence that we have seen on the part of the MCD. They sealed some basements after the horrific tragedy took place. Why was no action taken before it? Why no preemptive measures by the MCD? In fact, there have been violation of norms. That basement was being run as an illegal library. There was a biometric system that failed because electricity went off. There's so many norms that were flouted, but still no action on the part of the MCD. So one to believe that there's some sort of collusion or nexus between those benefiting from lethal infrastructure and the MCD officials? Jagdish ji, go ahead.
Definitely. क्योंकि आप ये मान के चलो कि अगर वहां पर देखिए बेसिकली तो क्या है कि कोचिंग सेंटर कम्स अंडर रेजिडेंशियल कैटेगरी, तो उसने बिल्डिंग बनाई, उसने बेसमेंट बनाया, इसमें तो कोई लीगल था नहीं, लेकिन बेसमेंट इज मेंट टू यूज फॉर.
Okay, we seem to have a patchy line there with Jagdish Mamgen. But Dr. Sudhir Krishna, coming to you again, because, it's not just about one coaching center. Multiple coaching centers have flouted norms, the building bylaws that seem to be only on paper. There seem to be no regard for these building bylaws. In fact, I've reported from these areas, they violate fire safety norms, they violate building bylaws, they violate, the NOC certificate that is being given to them. So there's no respect for law of any kind.
Yes, I think this, as I said in your earlier show, a tendency is coming among the people, and the governing authorities are also accepting that violation of law is not a serious matter anymore. You violate any law and you seek approval, you take a chance. If you are not caught, which is 90% of the chance, and 10% if you are caught, you pay some fine and it is regularized. You can add floor to your building, you can close your balconies, and you can extend the your construction up to the drain, or on top of the drain. You can do anything, and you can get away with it. At best, either 90% you will not be caught, and 10% this has to be checked, and we have to enforce the building bylaws thoroughly. See, in what case, even if somebody is put behind bars, how does it help in the larger plane?
Yes.
Unless wholesale inspection is done for the whole area, which is possible.
So it needs a complete overhaul, because as you said, just arresting one or two people won't really sort of trigger a systemic change, which is what is needed. Ritik, so let me go back to you, because the story is really about you guys, the UPSC aspirants. In fact, one of your colleagues or one of your fellow UPSC aspirants said that Rajinder Nagar is like a living hell. Talk to us about your daily struggles living in one of the largest and most prestigious UPSC hubs of the country.
So the thing is here, the thing here is like, during mostly during the rainy season, the wires, the electric poles are, hanging, and our lives is at stake when we are on road. Before we leave our doors, we always think that how would we reach to the center where we are actually safe. So the conditions is like the buildings are too tightly packed, no ventilations at all. 10 by 8 rooms are like suffocating for us, and the charges are too high for us to pay. And at the same time, the facilities that we are getting is just to breathe there. So we are actually, staking a life here. I would definitely say each and every student, those who are there in ORN, not happy with the conditions they are living. Most of our time are being spent on the library. We just sleep at home. And then after the full time, the 24 hours, almost like 18 hours, we are there on the library.
And all these libraries you're talking about are in the basement.
Yeah, most 99% of the libraries are running on the basements. And, every officials are aware of it. They go to that area, they go, they visit regularly to that area. But they, they have the nexus between the coaching centers, there are, strong, connections between them. They don't, even ask that why are they running, they're breaching the law and, violating the laws. There is no, accountability from the side of the MCD officials as well and coaching centers as well. So we students, there is, nobody who could be approached. And these are not the things which we could discuss to our parents, because at the end our parents are, they are more concerned about our life. They are more concerned about, we come from, so far, but then the things are not aligned up.
Yes. So all of you students coming from far off cities, you deserve better, and Delhi needs to do better than this. In fact, all our municipalities and the richest municipalities, including Delhi and Mumbai, need to do better. For now, we'll slip into a short break. That's all the time that we had on The Last Word, but this is a story we'll continue to track very, very closely. Good night.